Sweet potato harvest has just wrapped up. Here's a look at how we do it. The tops are strong and vining, so they would make a big mess if we left them on. So we go through and cut them off just above where the potato connects and move them aside. This frees up the roots and gets the vines out of the way so that they don't get tangled up in the digger. Unfortunately, in this particular block, we had quite a few weeds in the aisles. We just ran short of labor in late July and August, and they got away from us. In the past, we've been using a very old digger, but we've had a lot of trouble with the chains breaking. So this year, I bought a used 2-row Thomas digger. In the big potato operations, a 2-row digger is way too small, but it's still in decent shape, and it works great for us. There's been a bit of a learning curve getting used to it, and I'm sure we'll learn more as time goes by. But the blade goes underneath and picks up roots and soil and everything, and the goal is to get the soil to carry the potatoes up and disappear right as the potatoes get to the top of that chain, so that it can collect the potatoes together and the soil goes underneath. And here's the part that takes some fine-tuning. All the potatoes come out in a line here, which is great if there's not a lot of soil on them. But if there's a lot of soil and weeds, then it can tend to pile up, and you have to dig through that. But all in all, I'm happy with the result this first year, and I'm sure it will get better as time goes by. Once they are lined up in that line, then we come through and pick them. With sweet potatoes especially, at some point in the process, you have to go through and sort and pick out the ones that are good and leave the ones that are too thin or might have chew marks or whatever. They're expensive machines where you can do it up on a belt, but so far this works for us. The guys collect them in these buckets and tubs, and then we put them in large wooden bins for storage. But before they go into their final storage location, they have to be cured. I will do a separate video on the curing process. And I mentioned the other day that we have a lot of sparrows around the farm this time of year. This particular kind of sparrow is called a savanna sparrow, and it is probably one of my favorites. I love the yellow color. They nest in the pastures. Now they're down near the house. They're all looking for seeds and things in the weeds and grass, and they will be headed south before too long. It's interesting that a century ago, the savanna sparrow became so sparse that they thought it might go extinct. So it's nice to see lots of them around the farm.